Good afternoon, mate. Today I'm going to discuss a game that I took from Doeberl Cup, which is the 49th Doeberl Cup, and it's actually one of the Australia's leading championship, and it's between Stephen J. Solomon and Michael Steadman. And the topic that I want to bring up in this game is actually the persistence of a player that can actually lead to victory, even though most people will see that it's going to be a draw or even a loss game. So let's just have a look here. It's a pretty long game. Let me just get into it. It contains 111 moves by both players, but we can sort of get to it straight away, I guess, because it's fascinating. So let's just have a look here. It's French defense with Tarrasch variation, Guimard defense, or whatever main line. So it started with e4 and then e6 controlling the middle. I'm just gonna skip, I think, commentating with all the moves until I'm just going to read the annotation by Bill Egan and Ian Rogers. So it's just shortened for the video. Let's just have a look here. d4, d5, knight d2, knight c6, knight gf3, knight f6, e5, knight d7, knight b3, a5, a4, bishop e7, bishop b5, knight a7, bishop takes d7 check, queen takes d7, knight takes a5, b6, knight b3, bishop a6, c3, castle kingside h4, c5, a5. Now c takes d4 and a takes b6. Knight goes to c8, and here comes knight b takes d4, bishop e2, which is a very interesting continuation by black. And if you were white, what would you do here? Definitely this bishop here is doing a discovered attack towards this rook at a1, and also at the same time this bishop is actually attacking the queen at d1. So this is a very interesting attack by black, but Stephen J. Solomon didn't find the right move, which is actually moving this pawn forward. Instead, it did this move, which is rook takes rook at a8, and simply it's a loss because bishop takes d1 there. So it's actually already a lost game for Stephen J. Solomon. But can you believe it or not? King takes d1, knight takes b6, rook takes f8 check, bishop takes f8, b3, and queen a7, king c2, queen a2 check, bishop b2, no, bishop a3, rook b1 defending, knight d7 trying to go to this c5 square to weaken this, knight b5 attacking the bishop, bishop takes b2, rook takes b2, queen a6, c4, d takes c4, b takes c4, queen c6, and king c3 there. I just have a look at the annotation there, which already say something about anything. Nope. Knight b6, rook b4. So it's basically a loss. Looks like a lost game to white, but knight d5. But white still holds on. So king b3. Now even the rook is actually taken there. Knight takes b4, king takes b4, queen e4, knight d6 there, and queen b1 check, king c5. Now queen c2 is actually a bad move. Is there anything that is said here? So far, no. So king c6, moving forward, and then trying to promote this pawn. Queen takes f2. Knight g5. Queen takes g2 check. King d7. f6. Now f6 here is actually a mistake. I mean, because it leads to a draw game, basically. That's what the engine is saying. And here e takes f6, g takes f6, knight takes e6, queen g4, c5, queen takes h4, c6, queen a4, knight c5, queen d4, knight e6, queen a4, knight c5, queen d4, knight e4, queen a4, knight c3, queen d4, knight b5. It's just, you know, horsing around the board. Queen g4, king c7, h5, king b8, h4, c7, h3, knight e4, king g7, avoiding check, c8 equals queen. Now I think there is a commentary here. So from this diagram you can see that it's basically a draw, and so if queen takes c8 is a draw, but king actually moved there. Queen takes c8. So it's basically a draw game, and black actually thought that the game continuation is trivial because there are two knights and two pawns and a queen. So black thought it, if they exchange queen like this, it's just gonna be a draw. So let's just go on here. f5, knight f2, h2, king d7, king f6, knight c3, knight e5, king e5, knight cd1, king f4, knight h1, king f3, king e6, and king e2, knight d f2, f4, king f5, king e3, king g4, f3, king g3, king d4, king takes h2, king e3, king g3. So basically what's said here, from this diagram, a draw is secure, and most players, including me, would accept that black pawn is too far advance to seriously hope for a win. But two knights, and also two knights can only force stalemate, but actually this extra pawn creates winning possibilities, and characteristically Stephen J. Solomon is looking for a win, and his persistence is justified when Michael Steadman is actually headed to the wrong corner for the king. So let's just have a look. What does it mean? So it's basically because of this extra pawn, Stephen J. Solomon can actually create a checkmate for white. So black already thought that's going to be a stalemate, and it doesn't matter what it does, just slight material advantage, it's just gonna be a draw anyway. But let's have a look at the continuation. King d4, king f4, king d5, knight g3, king d4, knight ge4, king d5, king e3, king e5, knight c3, knight f5, king d4, king f4. It's the wrong corner. Knight ce4, knight f5, knight c5, king f4, knight cd3 check, king f5, king d5, king f6, king d6, king f7, king e5, king e7, knight c5, knight f7, king f7, knight d7, king e7, knight b6, king f7, knight d5, king g6, king f4, king g7, king g5, king f7, king f5, king g7, knight e7, king f7, knight c6, king g7, knight e5, king f8, king e6, king g7, king e7, king h6, king f6. Now king h5 is a blunder because it's a checkmate in 18 moves, no? And because it's just headed at the wrong corner. Knight g6, king h6, and knight f4, king h7, checkmate in 16 move, the wrong corner again. Knight g6, king h6, knight f4, king h7, knight h5, king h6, knight g3, king h7, knight f5, king g8, king e7, king h7 is already 15, 14, 13, 12 moves towards a checkmate. King f7, king h8, king g6, king g8, knight d6, king f8, king f6, king g8, knight f5, king f8, knight g7, king g8, knight e6, king h7, king g5, king g8, king g6, king h8 at the corner finally, king f7, king h7, knight g4, f2. Now this is where actually the knight moves, and do you know where the black king can move? It cannot really move anywhere that is safe. Let's just have a look at the commentary. So at king h7, after king h7, knight g4. So after 45 moves have elapsed actually since the last capture, and it's actually almost, I don't know, if I'm an arbiter, it's probably 50 moves. Then if there is no capture, then it's gonna be a draw. But if the pawn moves, it means that the 50 rule move rule or something like that is actually expired, so the counter has to reset from the 50 or something like 50 move rule, so it's not going to be a draw because of that. Now f2 was moved, it means the counter resets. Now what happens? Knight f8 check. Where can the king go? King can only go to one square, which is h8. So king h8, and now knight f6, protecting the king in case this pawn becomes queen, which happens. F1 equals queen, and then knight g6. Can you believe it? This is a beautiful checkmate delivered by Stephen J. Solomon towards Michael Steadman after 111 moves. So I suppose the message of this game is never ever claim a draw, never ever resign, and make use of your opponent's advantage, of course, which is the pawn, which becomes a weakness for the opponent. And even though you are actually fighting in a losing position, you still have a chance to win. And I suppose thank you so much for watching the game. I enjoy this game so much because it's winning from a losing position, and I suppose I'll catch you later, and thank you for